Happy Easter. My name is Mary Steinbicker, and I'm a biology with secondary education major at Immaculata, and I will be reflecting on the gospel for Easter. I've been thinking about grief a lot lately. It's been almost 10 years since I lost my grandfather, Dave. There are days where it feels like I lost him yesterday. I can still remember when I found out he was sick, really sick. I didn't take it seriously at first. It seemed ridiculous. How could a man that always seemed so healthy suddenly be so sick? But when it became clear that sick wasn't going to turn into healthy, I begged and begged to go see him. I didn't get to go see him. I didn't get to say goodbye. I told him sternly in the last phone call, held over his hospital bed, that he needed to get better. He didn't get better. When that call came, I broke down. It didn't seem real. And the one thing I sobbed over and over and over again was I didn't tell him. I never said, "I love you." That's what hurts the most. I am always reminded of the losses in my life during Lent. I find myself on Good Friday and Holy Saturday aching with loss. And I imagine that for the disciples, those days were spent rocked with emotion. Grief, anger, fear, shame, just to name a few. I imagine that the upper room was crowded, not only with people, but also with the sheer depth of feeling that every single person was experiencing. And so it's not hard for me to think about why Mary Magdalene would have gotten up before dawn in those wee hours of the morning. It's not hard to comprehend why she would go running through the streets, pell-mell back to the upper room after having realized that her Lord was missing from the tomb. I think a lot about how Peter and John would have reacted, shook awake at some ungodly hour to receive a message that quite frankly made things worse and yet so completely spurred them to action. Because that's the thing about grief. Grief is so heavy, but it's also what love looks like when the ones we love are gone. And sometimes it surprises us. It can spur us to action in times of darkness. It can reveal courage, and it can show us how precious life is. And so I'm not surprised either that John and Peter sprinted through the streets, racing the dawn, every bone of their body intent on one goal, finding Jesus. As a runner, I laugh at John's particular notation of having won the race, but I also admire Peter's desperate hope in the face of shame. I relate to him. He too had things left unsaid. That morning turned out to be not a place of fear, but a place of love, a place of triumph, a place of great faith and reignited hope. I didn't get to see Dave again. I won't get to see him again, at least not in this life. I will miss him for the rest of my life, even as I rejoice that he's gone home. But the resurrection is for me a reminder of the power of love so great that it overcame death. Love so powerful that once fearful disciples, ordinary people like you and me, went on to change the world. It gives me a foundation of hope that brings joy even in the face of darkness. So I'd like to invite you in this particular dawn to remember the power of love, to let your grief spur you to action, to embrace hope, and to have courage to say the words you might be afraid to say. May the peace of Christ be with you and yours this Easter season.